Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to F1 Manager 23 on the PS5. Tonight, it's round 10 of our second season. We're heading to the Styrian forests of Spielberg for the Austrian Grand Prix. So apologies for running slightly late tonight. I dozed off and just woke up a few minutes ago. I'm like, oh crap, I've just seen what the time is. But yes, we are here and we are ready for the next Grand Prix. Round 10. Let's see if it can be a comfortable, quiet, straightforward Grand Prix. It would be nice to have one of those for a while, wouldn't it? I mean, we had the drama of the massive shunt at Barcelona and all the chaos that kind of followed from that, and then we had the huge penalties for Lewis in the last Grand Prix, and then just the constant fighting to get him all the way back up to second in the last Grand Prix. It'd be kind of nice if we could just have a nice straightforward Grand Prix tonight. I think no real drama, no real fuss, just first and second to the flag. That would be nice. Let's see if that happens though. We have got a sprint tonight as well, so two kind of races tonight, I suppose. Let's have a quick look at our inbox. So straight away we're going to race prep. I believe we are good on parts. We're still in debt. We can't make anything else yet until after this race. So hopefully we don't break anything that we can't afford to replace, because the last thing I want to do this weekend is incur even more debt. Just as we're about to clear our debt, the last thing I want to do is take on more. So yeah, this could be potentially a disastrous weekend if that happens. Let's have a quick look at our confidence ratings and our car position. That's pretty much where we were. So let's see, targets for tonight. The incentive, 2 in the top 4 should be able to manage that. We're going to go both into Q3 and both in Q2. Fastest lap is the incentive. We are going to target 2 in the top 3 tonight, just in case. We've got 1 in the top 6 for 2 races is the incentive on our finish position streak. Just need 1 more to get that done, and then if we get 2 in the top 4 tonight in qualifying, we will complete our qualifying streak, which will give us a nice bit of extra cash as well. So definitely want to make sure we can achieve that tonight. As I said, we do kind of need to get a bit of extra cash back in the bank. Right, let's head to the Red Bull Ring.
Welcome along to the spectacular setting of Austria. Set in the Austrian mountains, the Red Bull Ring offers fantastic views and thrilling racing. Originally built in 1970, the circuit has been part of the F1 season in its current format since 2014. Spielberg's challenges are all about overtaking. The DRS zones here mean passing is very possible, especially if your tyres are in a better condition than the next cars. But get caught out having to manage less than fresh tyres? You could be a sitting duck.
This weekend will be taking a slightly different form, as we have the addition of a thrilling sprint race thrown into the mix.
So, without further ado, let's get started.
Okay, before we go any further, let's just say hello to everyone in the chat. We've got Patkins, F1 Clips, Baron is here, Mr. Waters here. Good to see you guys. Patkins says, having a nap ain't a bad thing. I did that last night and missed your stream. No, that is a very bad thing. Missing my streams is terrible. Do not do that. Baron says, I'm a night owl. Mr. Waters said, I had a feeling you dozed off. It's almost like you guys know me so well. Right, we have rain tonight, so there will perhaps be some drama. The sprint itself is going to take place under clear skies on Saturday, but the main race is going to have a sprinkling of the wet stuff. That's going to make things potentially a bit more interesting. No Teo tonight because it is a sprint. We only have the 2 sessions to get our drivers prepped. And we only have the 1 session to get the car tuned as quickly as possible for qualifying before Parc Fermé rules set in. So, with that in mind, I only have 2 confirmed 100% setups for this year's game. And I really seem to struggle to actually nail 100% setup for this weekend, given the sprint conditions. Let's go ahead and swap out all the good stuff for the not so good stuff. Protect those wear rates. Right. So we'll go with a 5, a 13.5, a 1.9. A 3.25. Read my own writing for a second then. And then a 0.95. There we go. So that's what we'll try on George's car. It is 23 laps for a complete run here. But given that it's a sprint, we're going to call them in as soon as we get actual data. It's something I've started doing. It's just the second they get a setup, feedback, I pull them straight back in. When it gets to a sprint weekend, or at least for the first session anyway. Dropping the pace down to protect the car. Let's move on to Lewis. So we have to go with this engine for practice because we killed the other one. Same with the RS, we have to go with that one because we killed the other one. And that gearbox will last this session. Right, so a slightly different setup. We're going to go with a 4, a 13, a 1.9, a 3.3, and a 0.95. There we go. Again, just slightly under fuel. Drop the pace down and let's send them to the track. Evening, Bakir.
So radio check. Loud and clear. Radio's loud and clear. Radio check.
Radio's loud and clear.
Avoid all curbs. Avoid all curbs.
Alright, and they are off and running. I'm just having a look. I doubt we'll see anyone in the reserve role for the other teams today.
We'll just get back to you.
Doesn't look like it. No, everyone's running their regular lineup as expected.
Surface temps are low all round.
Your tyre temps?
Okay, let's see how we do with our feedback. First results will be coming in momentarily. And 88% for Lewis. Needs a little bit of work. Hopefully we get a little bit closer to the mark with George.
Check the tyres.
Alright, so Russell, 85%, he's worse. Ugh, okay, well, we'll call him in. There we go. So that took us about 19 minutes, give or take. So we've got a chance to, well, maybe get mostly feedback after a second run as well. You know, on if we make a third run. See, so we need to change the rear wings. So I'm going to go to last year's book because, like I said, I don't really have a lot of options in this year's book. Let's have a look. And all the rear wings from last year's book are either 13 or 13.5. So there is no... Well, it's not guaranteed, but it does suggest to me that it's unlikely that that's going to be a 12.5 on the rear wing. So we will go with the 13.5. We have got the option of just swapping their setups. And let's see what that does. So it's a 5, 13.5, 1.9, 3.35 and a 0.95 that we've put on George's car. Is that going to work for Lewis? And the answer is not quite. That, however, could work. So we'll try that. Evening, George. How are you tonight? Okay, so this is probably going to be a 13. So we'll try the setup that we've put on Lewis's car. So a 413, 3.35, sorry, 3.3 and a 0.95. Let's have a look at that. It's close, it's close. That's not enough. Let's do that. Yeah, we'll try that. All those changes are about the right distance apart, so let's see if that works. And there we go, we've got them back out again. So we've got about 35 minutes of the session left. So if we can do it in about 19 minutes again on this run, that means we'll have time to get maybe 3, maybe 4 bits of feedback on a third run.
Pressure's still low.
Lewis needs a win, says George. Well, yes, if he wants to keep his title chances alive, then he definitely needs a win. We saw he had the edge in the last sprint event at Baku. He was consistently about 0.3 of a second faster than George across the sprint and the main. And no penalties tonight, so theoretically we'll be starting alongside George on the front row, assuming all goes well with qualifying. Maybe he'll have that edge tonight. would be ironic if Lewis only wins the sprints this year.
Give us a balance check when you can. Balance check.
So let's have a look. We are nailed. Excellent. That is exactly what I wanted to see. So we'll leave Hamilton going around. Just got to wait for George. %. So we do need to call George in and just make another tweak if we can. We'll have, once we've made the changes and gone back out again, we'll have about 10-12 minutes on track. Somewhere in that kind of region. Right, okay, I'm going to push the front wing up like that. Let's go with that. Lewis is going to run out of fuel, so we'll keep him out on track a little bit longer if we can. Just to try and give him a little bit of extra track knowledge, but he's going to have to come in and refuel. And we'll send him straight back out again. Actually, while we've got him here, let's add this to the book. So, we've got a 5, a 13.5, a 1.9, 3.25 and a 0.9. That is actually very close to the setup we started George on. We started George on that. So, yeah, very, very close indeed. There we go. So, this is purely about getting a bit of extra track time for Lewis and hopefully some solid feedback that confirms we're in the right direction for George, because he's lacking a little bit in setup at the moment.
So we have taken the flag.
Welcome to qualifying. Let's find out who's got what it takes as we establish the grid for the sprint.
Have I been muted for a while?
In this session, drivers will be
Quite
fighting
possibly.
for grid position in the weekend sprint race. Only the fastest 10 will make it to Q3, where they're in with a chance of taking pole.
Karoon, if we could perhaps talk about Lewis for a moment. How do you think he's feeling?
They're not looking quite as strong as their teammates, so they've got some ground to make up. A good grid position here would certainly help matters.
Good point, Karoon. Let's get on with qualifying.
Okay, so Lewis is fully prepped for qualifying. How close did we get with George? It's a bit of a gamble. We've got optimal on the braking and cornering. That's encouraging. Obviously, we don't really know what's going on with the others, but hopefully the changes that we've made will bring optimal values there as well. So we've just got to trust that that works. I'm going to screenshot that just in case he does get 100 so that we can add those values to the book. And let's put in the good components ready for quali. So we're going to go with that engine for George. And we'll go with that ERS unit. Still haven't taken a penalty for him on that one yet. That's yet to come. We're going to wait till the Hungaroring for that. And we'll go with that gearbox. There we go. And now for Lewis, we're going to go with that engine. And that ERS will last, at least through the sprint anyway. And we'll go with that gearbox. There we go. And we'll try just single lap runs.
Careful with the warm-up.
Alright, we're still on the Friday, so no threat of rain today, but obviously there will be on the main race on the Sunday. Should be clear on the Saturday as well for the actual sprint itself and final practice. Perez and Tsunoda also on track now. It's a very short lap, so let's see if the AI can warm the tyres up properly in just one lap of prep. Should be able to now.
And circuit's all clear. Good to go.
So no one ahead. Good to
So
go.
we've got a Ferrari making its way out. That's Charles Leclerc. We have got now AlphaTauri a little ahead of us. That is going to be Schumacher. Hopefully that doesn't get in the way. And is George going to get held up by Leclerc here? Should get through without any issues. He does. And he's slower than Lewis in the first sector. Right, here we go. Going up to the back of Nick. And gets himself off the racing line and out of the way. And he's faster in the middle sector than Russell as well. Russell comes up to complete his lap. Is Mick going to get in the way? Shouldn't be. Might even get a little slipstream from him here.
So keep that delta tight. So call the car on box.
And there you go. So it's not a huge difference, but Hamilton has the edge so far.
Yeah, we will box end of this lap.
And that'll be enough for us for this session. So we'll let our drivers make their way back to the pits and see what everyone else does. So we're still waiting on to set a good time. Sainz is yet to set a competitive time. He is on track now as Piastri goes flying past him and then immediately pulls out of the way. Ocon looking quick behind him as well. So Ocon goes 7th, Sainz only 13th. Ooh, that might should be safe, but you never know. It's another disappointing showing from Sainz so far. But having said that, look how tight the grid is. It's only 8 tenths separating the top 15. So, yeah, the grid is definitely starting to close up a little bit, you know, this season. Evening Hayes, how often am I making these videos? We live stream every night of the week, so 5 nights a week. This will be the last stream this week. Sainz to be out again. He should make it through Q1, but I don't know if he'll get through Q2. Let's see what he does on this lap. He has got Max behind him. Oh, Max peels in, so he's got clear track in front and behind. Let's see what kind of improvement he can put through, as we have a yellow flag on track. That is a Haas that's retired. Hulkenberg is gone. He crashed on the final corner. Shouldn't affect anyone else's laps. Well, it might do. There's still a yellow flag. Ricciardo is out, Schumacher's out, Zhou is coming up to the line but probably won't improve. Bottas is out, Piastri's out, Zhou is out. And Sainz did not improve, but again, yellow flag in the final corner still, so that probably slowed everyone down a bit. In terms of penalties, we have got a penalty for Sainz and Ocon this weekend, so wherever they do start we'll get a little bit of penalty, and Hulkenberg, having made it through, will now start 15th. You know, before penalties, as he will take no further part in qualifying, having crashed. We go into Q2, we're going to go with the same tyres again. There we go, so single lap runs. What happened to Hulkenberg? We didn't see it, but he had a crash on the final corner. Saw his icon stopped on the mini-map. So, once again, this is just going to be a single lap run for us. That should be all we need to get through. Sainz has got a little less competition, with Hulkenberg taking no further part in qualifying. But, yeah, he might struggle to get through this session. Once again, Lewis looking pretty quick.
Box. And
102.7 is the benchmark for George, who is nearly 4 tenths slower this time.
Just get that delta negative.
Okay, that should still be enough to get George through, but not an amazingly quick time. Okay, Sainz is faster than Yuki at the moment, but there's still time for another run. Here comes Leclerc to set his time with Ocon behind him, and Leclerc and Ocon both go faster than Sainz, so Yuki's now in the drop zone. A lock up for Norris.
Now the focus is on Lando Norris here. Oh, all right so far. The wheels just lock up there, and they ended up their own passenger.
That's not ideal. He boxes. He has got time to put fresh tyres on and go again. Stroll starts his final lap, I think. Sainz heading onto track now. I'm actually going to ride with Sainz because he is the man in danger right now. Gasly is potentially the one who has got the biggest chance of knocking him out. In harmony. Although Yuki has been quick in qualifying this year, he might sneak through. I don't think Albon or Norris will be the one to do it. I think it's either going to be Yuki or Gasly that is going to be the biggest threat to Sainz here. Actually, Yuki's just ahead of Sainz, so we'll ride with Yuki. There is a lot of traffic coming out. That's going to affect Sainz more than Tsunoda. Right, clears the Red Bull without any issues. Tsunoda gets past Alonso. I don't think there are any issues there. Is that Alonso or is that Stroll? It is Alonso. And Sainz is now out of the the session as things are standing. Gasly did go quick enough to go up to P8. So it is a showdown between these two to see if either of them can topple Magnussen. As Ocon crosses the line. No, Ocon is still on a warm-up. Sainz gets into P10 just ahead of Kevin Magnussen, who is in the garage and not going out. So Sainz is just going to squeak through by the look of it. Tsunoda has done his flying lap. Albon is on an in lap. It's down to Norris. Can Norris pull off a miracle here? He's improving in the first sector. He had that almighty lockup which has put him slightly out of sequence with everyone else. He's up in the middle sector as well. He needs to find half a second though to get through. It's a huge ask. It's clean and tidy through the last corner. Goes for the line. And improves up to 11th. And he was so close. He was so close, but just couldn't quite do it. So Sainz lives to fight another day and will actually make Q3 for the first time in a while. Don't forget, he does have that penalty along with Ocon, so wherever he qualifies, he's losing at least 3 places. Right, we're into the final qualifying session. We're going to do a single lap run on these tyres. In fact, we've got time because it is a short lap. We've probably got time to do 2 flying laps if we go right away. Get that confidence level up and then just do 1 flying lap, if you know, or maybe just the 2 on the other ones. So we'll send them out straight away.
Outlap normal.
Understood. We should do some work on the brakes.
Alright, Perez and Ocon are coming out as well. And here comes Gasly. Is he going to get in the way of either of our two drivers here?
And circuit's all clear. Good to go.
And Max
all
making
clear
his way
ahead.
out as well.
Good to go.
So Lewis cuts the beam and starts his flying lap. He'll be clear of Max. There's George coming around the first corner. Hopefully that won't hold him up too much. Gasly pulls out of the way. And we've got Sainz on track now as well. Again, Russell just catching someone in a corner, but hopefully that won't have held him up too much. He looks like he got through relatively smoothly. Let's see what the gap is across the line. Lewis sets an initial time of a 102.9 and a 103.5 for George, so 0.6 slower. He must have taken a bit of a hold up on that. You see his current confidence level as he does a cool down lap before going again. That's Lewis's starting confidence level, boosted by his first lap. And Ocon splits our two drivers. Well, we just screwed up Max's lap a little bit there, I think.
It's all clear.
Returning the favour.
Good to go.
Track is all clear. Good to go.
George might be close enough to get a little bit of a toe off the back of Lewis here. He's very lucky. No improvement for Lewis in the first sector. George is up slightly. George was held up in turn 3 on his first run. Gets clear of Gasly without any issues this time. Is Alonso going to get in the way? He's a little bit. No improvement for Lewis in the middle. George is up again. Gets through. And we've got a yellow flag on track. That looks like a problem for the Ferrari.
So we currently as
George closes the gap. Oh no, it was a problem for
So
Alonso,
just
so that must be Stroll who's
Now
in
here
front
we
of
are
us.
tackling turn 3.
Oh yeah, he was fighting with
bit
the
too
Ferraris.
wide at
Oh,
that
that was
point.
just
Well,
clumsy
hopefully not a
there.
sign
Very
of things
clumsy.
to come.
3 cars into that corner does not go. So, Stroll starting his flying lap in front of us. He seems sprinting up the hill.
Yeah, we're happy with that.
We're going to box,
Yeah, we will
put on
box
some
after this
fresh
lap.
tyres and go for another 2-lap run
Currently,
if we have the
P2.
time. We might just do the 1-lap run, but it'll be on fresh tyres. Yeah, we haven't got time for 2 laps, I don't think. Well, maybe. Maybe. It'll be close. It was a very quick lap here, as you can see, just a fraction over a minute. give a little bit of separation between the two. There we go.
Just be careful with the warm-up.
Understood. Wake up those rear brakes. Okay.
And circuit's all clear. Good to go.
So, all clear ahead. Yeah, let's go for it.
So Max up to second, Lewis flying. Does he improve? A 102.9. He does just a touch, not much. George improves and retakes second spot from Max with a 102.993. So just 0.08 of a second between the two drivers. They're on a cool down lap and then they'll go again. There is Perez. Max on his way back to the garage. Got both Ferraris coming out. Got Leclerc behind Sainz. Alonso on his out lap and Stroll on his flying lap right now.
Circuit's all clear.
Oh, that's not good for Ocon.
Okay.
Gasly getting in his way. And here we go with Lewis with his second flying lap.
All clear ahead.
Can he go even faster?
Let's go.
Confidence is almost into the peak levels. An improvement in Sector 1 will tip that over for him. It does not improve in the first sector. What about George? George again, just shy of peak confidence. Does improve and is now into peak confidence, only just. Lewis goes purple in the middle, a new personal best there, one new fastest of everyone. He is now into peak confidence. And Russell goes purple in the middle sector. It's going to be so close between these two. Lewis, purple in the final sector. A 102.8 is the final time. Can Russell take pole position from him?
Box.
Yep.
He can't, but he is closer. He's just
currently P2.
under 500ths down, but is going to be starting in second. It's Verstappen in third, Max in fourth, unless we get some last-minute changes. Alonso splits the two Red Bulls. What about the Ferraris? They're both on flying laps. No improvement from Charles Leclerc in the first sector. He is up in the middle. Sainz is improving in both sectors. What can Sainz do here? Only goes P9. All right, what about Charles? Improves his time slightly, but stays 7th. So there we go. That is our qualifying lineup for the sprint. It'll be Mercedes first and second, then Max in third, Alonso fourth, Perez fifth, Stroll sixth, Leclerc seventh, Ocon 8th, Sainz 9th and Gasly 10th. All teams represented by both their cars there in the top 10. Evening, Andy. How did we do last night? Oh, you should definitely watch it. It was an almighty fight back from Lewis. Alright, so second practice, final practice. We're going to put the worn stuff back in the car for this session. Gearbox will last just, and we are going to heavily fuel these cars. We're going for 50 laps of fuel here. Yep, there we go. And as for Lewis, same again. We're going to go slightly less fuel. We're going 45 laps of fuel, because he's a little bit further ahead on his track knowledge. And let's swap out his knackered stuff. That gearbox probably won't do a full hour of running, so we'll leave that one in. Let's see, did we get George's setup nailed? We did, excellent stuff. So let me go ahead and add that into the book before we go any further. Let's pull up that screenshot. So 5, 13. One 9. 3.15. And a 0.95. There we go. So 2 more setups added to the book tonight. That's good, good, good. Right, parts have been swapped, fuel has been put in, pace has been set. Let's send them to the track for second practice. I can skip the race now, so Lewis wins. Can't skip anything. If we skip the sprint, then we start from the back of the grid. Don't forget, qualifying only sets the grid for the sprint, and then the sprint sets the grid for the main race. It's not how it works anymore in real life, but that's how it did work last season. It's kind of a bit of a hodgepodge of the two versions of rules smushed together in this year's game.
Let's have a look at the action. It's all at the final corner. And that won't help their chances.
That is very
but all
wide.
being well and fingers crossed, no...
Hopefully he's not damaged his underfloor, because we do not have any spares, and we're now locked into part Fairmay, so we cannot swap any parts out for different spec. What's that crack noise? That's my lighter. That crack noise was my knuckle. So this will help get our car knowledge up with the new parts that we're running today, and also massively improve the track knowledge. But the most important thing is we got the 100 on the setup. That contributes 50% of our driver's confidence going into the race. So the other two values, 25% each, you know, less of a factor. We're not going to make 100% tonight because the car knowledge isn't going to reach 100 tonight, but we should get into the 90s quite comfortably. We're actually going to run out of fuel a lot earlier than I thought with Lewis. "45 laps is not going to be enough. Let's try and give him out for a few more laps, but yeah, we've undercooked this one a little bit. Call him in. There we go. There's no point sending him back out now. He'll only gain maybe 1% at best on his track knowledge. Let's keep George out as long as we can, though. Keep him out to the flag.
Just give us some tyre feedback.
Tyres look good, to be honest.
Okay.
There we go.
Checkered flag is out.
So 94 for Lewis, 95 for George. And now it's time for the sprint.
Hello and welcome as our Grand Prix weekend continues, and the sprint will soon be upon us. The action is set to be fast and furious in this one, with each driver well aware that a good performance will secure themselves a strong place on the grid.
Points go to the top finishers in the sprint, and with no mandatory pit stops, it's all about the racing on the track.
So who will reach the peak and who has a mountain to climb here at the Austrian Sprint?
Okay, we are going to go with medium tyres. They're only a second slower overall without any pushing, and they will last in better condition to the end. The sprints will be really kind of borderline at the end, so we don't need to take that risk. Let's put the decent stuff back in the car. And just pray that we don't break anything in the sprints. We're going to go very aggressive at the start. Alright. Let's go to the grid.
We're ready for 24 laps around the Red Bull Ring in what should be a great sprint.
Drivers certainly don't shy away from overtaking on the circuit, meaning we should be in for a hotly contested competition here in Austria.
Forget the scheduled pit stops today. It's all about racing. Here in Austria, we're all ready to go for the sprint. And it's lights out, and
Looked
away
like George
we go.
jumped the start for a second then. We've got a very good launch. No team orders in the sprint because DRS will be in at the start of the next lap. And Max gets ahead. Perez is the first of the soft runners. There's a Stroll, Sainz, Ocon, they're the ones we have to watch out for. Gasly has dropped in 12th. Don't forget, those penalties for Ocon and Sainz won't kick in until the main Grand Prix on Sunday. Lewis pushing hard, might be able to break DRS here.
Currently P1. Standard car behind.
Not quite. So let's calm the tyres down and the fuel, and we'll go back into top-up mode.
Copy that.
Charge the pack.
Copy.
Look up the temps, 'cause
Max is still going to be pushing on this lap, so Lewis is going to be vulnerable. And there we go, he slots on through.
head down, down.
Just show me what you've got.
Copy.
Let's go for it.
We're going to go another lap before we re-engage our batteries. And we get away from Perez in the process. Already Leclerc has dropped off the back of Stroll. Can he keep himself in DRS range? I don't think he made it this time. That gap's going to keep getting bigger. We've got a lock up for
Let's take a look
Ricciardo.
at the replay. Now look, here we head into turn 2. Well, you can see the lockup, and hopefully there's not too much damage to the tyres.
A little bit rough over the curve there, but didn't lose out too badly, all things considered. Right, and now we're going to sprint again.
Use the overtake.
start reducing that management.
Understood.
So Lewis slotting into first place. I don't know if I've got enough pace to actually break away from Max. But George might get him. I don't think Max has got any battery left. Oh, we've got collision between Max and George.
Come on, really?
And oh dear, that's
And he's
Max
damaged his front
Verstappen.
wing.
Right, so this was the fourth corner. Barely any room to manoeuvre. And the contact between the cars,
I'd like to say that's
inevitable.
Max's
And they'll
fault,
have to
but
pick
I
themselves
don't
up after
know.
that.
That's going to really hurt George. It's going to drop him all the way to the back.
And while all that was happening, the crew in the garage could do nothing but watch on.
Are all the tyres on? Something doesn't feel right.
George finally gets underway. That's ruined his sprint.
There, I cannot do anything.
It's going to start him from the back of the grid. And he gets the penalty. What? I don't think that was his fault, but it has put Lewis in cleaner. So
So we're low on battery
Yeah.
at the moment.
Understood.
Make sure keep these tyres in good nick.
what a disaster.
Just charge the pack.
Let's just manage these tyres.
It's going to be tough getting Russell back up. It's going to be very tough. We're certainly not going to get him back up onto the front row in the sprint. There just isn't enough time left in this race. But hopefully we can at least get him back into the top 10. Yeah, that's really ruined his Grand Prix. Evening, Victor. Well, it's ruined his sprint. We've still got wet weather to come in the main race, so maybe a well-timed box, either onto wets or onto dries, depending on what the conditions are like, could jump him a few places as well. Not completely over for Russell in terms of points this weekend, but it's certainly going to hurt. And this gives Lewis every chance to close the gap between the two in the constructors. In the Drivers' Championship, quite considerably. Worst thing for George is that not only has he got to make up 4.5 seconds to get onto Bottas, he's got a 5-second penalty as well. So even if he does catch up, he's effectively going to drop back down a few positions at the end of this sprint as well because of that penalty. Perez is closing on Lewis. He and Verstappen, if they work together, they can leapfrog each other and close that gap quite quickly. Do I have any wings? I think I've got one spare front wing, which is why I haven't called Russell in, because I need that for the main race. We'll have to have a look. Might have to emergency manufacture just so I've got a spare one for the race itself. And we are stuck in Parc Fermé rules, so I can't downgrade him to a previous spec of front wing. I have to stay with the current spec. I don't know if I've only got one or two. If I've got two, I'm okay, but if I've only got one, then that means I go into the main race with no replacement wings. Alright, so we are about half a second a lap faster than Bottas at the moment. That's not enough. We need more than that. Let Max go to front and then send the blue shell. Yeah, Formula One hasn't quite devolved to that yet. We go back to the front, and Stroll has injected himself into the middle of the two Red Bulls. He is the meat in a Red Bull sandwich. And there's a big gap opened up actually behind Alonso in fifth to Ocon. 3 seconds. He's definitely holding up those Ferraris. Stroll is having a look, but can't quite get past Perez. He'll get DRS on this straight though. There he is, rear wing open. Can he make those soft tyres of his work? He is against soft tyres of Perez, so no dice there. George now 2.5 seconds off the back of Bottas. Did he do any powertrain damage? Doesn't look like it. That all looks about where it was. Stroll is going to try and go around the outside into turn 1. He might have got the DRS there as well. He didn't. Perez just got it. So he's going to try and retake that position up the hill. And Perez will get DRS on this third DRS straight as well. So he will retake second place. Going into turn 4. And then shuts the door on Sainz. Russell now 1.5 seconds off Bottas. So let's cut back to George. Can't really push fuel, but we can use the tyres a bit more, and we've got half a battery.
And happy to pick up the pushing level.
Yeah, copy.
Just inside DRS range here, that's good. Car's got a strong acceleration. And we've got a yellow flag. Drama at turn 3.
Here's the replay. Right, let's have a look now. Around turn 3. And the car fails to respond. By that point, it was just too late.
So that drops Yuki to the back of the grid. We saved a bit of extra battery for George, and then we'll try and unleash that on the next lap when we go past. Stroll back into second place. Hamilton still keeping that gap at 2 seconds. I'm happy to let the AI fight each other because it means they're not, hunting down Lewis. And we don't have to worry about fastest lap in the sprint because it isn't worth anything, apart from bragging rights. And there's every chance that we'll get it with George just pushing through the field anyway.
push and hold at overtake.
What's his confidence level at now? That's not bad, actually. I thought it'd be worse than that. Late on the brakes. And we're past Bottas. Nearly got Ricciardo. Bottas trying to fight back on those softs. George has got the battery, though.
Charge the pack.
Yeah.
Just reduce your speed.
Copy.
As we tuck in behind Danny Rick. Didn't get a good launch. Disappointing. Alright, Joe is vulnerable to Ricciardo, and Ricciardo is vulnerable to George. And we swoop past one of them, and then he bails out of the move on Joe. Go on, get him under braking. Right, up to 16.
Just drop back a bit.
Yeah, copy.
Still got that penalty though. So as things stand, we're going to finish 20th. Four seconds off the back of Hulkenberg. Should be able to pick the pace up a bit now that we are clear of the traffic. See us defending against Joe. Hamilton's got the gap up to 3.3 seconds now. Those tyres of Stroll starting to wear out, I think. Yeah, down to 50%. Hulkenberg and Schumacher's tyres are getting low. Those two should be vulnerable. We've taken a second out of them, I think, on this lap.
So
go for it a bit.
Push now.
Copy.
So while we're still dragging these guys along with DRS, we are not getting the getting the 5 seconds we need to hold positions with George. And I don't really have the battery to break away yet. I'm going to have to burn it here just to stop pulling them up, up the grid with me. Hoping to actually keep hold of some of that, but there we go. We're out of DRS range now. Nine laps left. Stroll and Perez still fighting away for second place. Verstappen keeping a watching brief behind them. And the gap now 4.5 seconds. Going to go ahead and save that fuel with Lewis.
Increase in lift and coast just a little.
Drop his tyres down just a touch as well. Reduce
Yeah,
the
just
engine
to
wear
make sure
slightly.
that, we don't fall off the cliff on that tyre.
Understood.
Bottas making a move. He's got himself up to 17th ahead of Ricciardo and his teammate. Trying to hunt down George, who is almost in range of Hulkenberg now.
To start reducing that management.
Copy.
Alonso almost took the position from Max then. They're still side by side. Going to save up the fuel to sprint away from these two. Fuel, sorry, the battery. Seven laps to go.
There seems to be some green live resistance.
Let's see if we can make a move on Hulkenberg in the braking zone here. Not quite. Should get him along this straight though. Oh, that's a poor launch out the corner, even with the battery. Now we're getting in position. Around the outside. See if we can make quick work of Mick. Actually, we're not going to get the chance to pull away from him here. Let's just save the battery again for a moment. Now we'll go deploy, because we've got the DRS over Mick, so this is a chance to stretch the gap just a little bit up into turn 3 and then sprint away from turn 3 onwards for the rest of the lap and hope it's enough. So we need to break the DRS quickly. So that we don't drag them along with us. There we go. Let's go into top up mode. Let's drop the tyre pace down slightly, so we don't kill what's left of those tyres.
Let's just manage these tyres.
Alonso has taken 4th place from Max Verstappen now, and is looking like he might be able to have a run at Perez. Don't forget, Perez is on the softs, Alonso on the medium, so Perez is going to be vulnerable, and so is Stroll for that matter. And also all over the back of Checo there. Going to get him here, as Checo has actually dropped out of DRS range of Stroll there. Schumacher now 4.3 seconds behind Russell, so as long as Schumacher holds everybody behind him, That will be the stopgap for us to build that 5 seconds that we need for the penalty for George. Albon's going to be difficult to catch. And if we do catch him, we're not going to have time to actually get past him. So all we can do really now is just try and hold position in 14th. Keep that gap above 5 seconds. Drop the tyres down a bit more, just because we need to. Got the gap up to 5.8 seconds nearly. That's good. Let's go back to the battle with Alonso, who gets into second place ahead of his teammate. Soft tyres really are falling away now. There's 3 laps to go. We've got a yellow flag. It's a crash. It's a turn 1, I think.
That's not looking good for Charles Leclerc. Now we should be able to take a look here.
Oh, that wasn't good.
And you can see how the cars come together. That will have knocked their confidence, I'm sure.
It might be a penalty for Leclerc there. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a racing incident. Neither driver seems to have been given a penalty. Although it has done some damage to Leclerc's tyres. Russell is closing on the back of Albon. Just not going to have quite enough time left to really do anything about it, unfortunately.
2 laps remaining.
2 laps to go. We might as well send them on full attack and see what we can do.
And happy to pick up the pushing level.
Maybe we can force a mistake out of Albon if we put him under pressure. Get him to lock up or spin. That's what happened to Lewis at Imola. George put him under pressure for a very long time. And then Lewis locked up on the last but one corner. And we are comfortably clear now of Hulkenberg. Schumacher's dropped down to 17th. Verstappen now has got past Stroll and Perez. His medium tyres definitely putting him in a position to make those passes with ease. George on the back of Piastri and Sainz and Magnussen. Piastri and Sainz both have knackered softs, but we just don't have enough time to capitalise on that, unfortunately. We can maybe pass at least one of them, if not both, but we won't have the time to gap them. Meanwhile, Verstappen has overtaken Alonso. And Alonso trying to fight back. This is the final lap. This will determine who starts alongside Lewis in the main Grand Prix tomorrow. And it looks like it's going to be Max. He's just sat and played the waiting game today, biding his time. Lewis comes across the line to win the sprint. It's going to be Max in second from Alonso. George has got past Piastri and Sainz and Albon. I don't think you can pull far enough ahead to do anything about keeping those positions. So a desperate fight back from Russell. He crosses the line 11th, but the penalty is going to drop him. Well, actually, is the penalty going to be applied here? Or is it going to be applied in the main race? Theoretically, we should be 14th behind Albon. We'll see what the final classification says.
And what a magnificent sprint win for Lewis Hamilton.
And what a well-deserved P1 finish that was. Absolutely outstanding.
So there we see Ocon with his penalty to be applied in the main race, and it'll be the same for Sainz, and Russell does get demoted down to 14th as expected. Hulkenberg will have a penalty in the main race as well. So depending on how big those penalties are for Sainz, we should jump Sainz. I don't think we'll jump Ocon because I think that's just a 3-place penalty. And obviously we're going to start ahead of Hulkenberg anyway, so might be P13 for George. But there is the confirmation of the top 8, the point scoring positions. Lewis comfortable all the way through that sprint really. Max with the fastest lap, played the waiting game, got the position on the last lap and took second, so he'll be starting alongside us on the front row in the main race. Alonso up third, Stroll up to fourth, Sergio Perez stays as fifth. Good race for Gasly, getting himself up to 6th, gaining 4 places and getting 3 points in the process. Disappointing for the Ferraris. Leclerc, as you can see, dropping down a place into 8th, gets the last point, and Sainz dropped out of the top 10 altogether, and with that penalty is going to be right near the back of the grid for the main race. Let's see if we have that spare front wing.
It's race day, and final preparations are underway.
4 years on from the circuit being renamed to the Red Bull Ring, Max Verstappen became the first driver to bring an eponymous car to victory here in 2018.
Now, in terms of George Russell, Karun, how do you think he's going to be feeling going into this race?
You know, it's not going well for them at the moment. They haven't been able to put everything together, and it's going to be a lot of work to get back to where they need to be.
And Austria is always full of surprises, so who knows what lies in store here at the Red Bull Ring.
Okay, where are we starting? 12th. Ah, nice. Okay, so we need to replace that front wing. We do have 1 spare. That's good. We've still got 1 spare part. So we don't need to emergency manufacture any, which is a blessing because we're already in debt and that would have just confounded the problem. As far as fuel goes, we are going to take out, let's see, it's 1.4 kilos, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 laps of fuel. Maybe more. We'll see what the weather looks like. Let's do that now, actually. It's going to rain for the second half of the race, so do we try and do a 1-stop to the rain, or do we go soft? I think, given that it's unsure as to how wet that's actually going to be, I think soft might be the safer option. We'll have a look. So if we plan for the inters to come on here, and we do 18 laps on each set of tyres on those softs. Okay, and now if we just delete that and delete that, and if we now delete that and go mediums, that is a bit of a stretch. Okay, what about hard tyres? It's only 2 seconds quicker, and it'll be harder to fight through the traffic and will be slow at the end of the stint. I think that might be the way to go. Plus, it does give us a little bit of flexibility if the rain isn't quite where it needs to be. If it comes a little bit later, we can maybe, look after our tyres a bit and extend. If it comes earlier, well, not a lot we can do about that, but we'll be on quick tyres anyway. I think that's going to be our strategy. 2 soft runs, followed by a stint on the inters. So let's mirror that with Lewis. 18, 36. And inters and softs. There we go. Update strategy. Confirm deletes. Confirm deletes. That is quite a long stint on wet weather tyres, so we can go a little bit easier on the fuel save at the start. It means we can be really aggressive with the fuel in the opening stint of the race. Because we'll save fuel quite quickly once the rain picks up. Especially from about lap 50 onwards. Right, I think we are good to go. So, let's just double check. Parts are all going to make it through. Cars are set up, fuel levels are set, driver options are done, strategies are chosen. Let's head to the starting grid.
Here among the Austrian mountains, the grid is now set for the 71 laps of the Red Bull Ring. This could be a big race for that man right there, Lewis Hamilton.
They're on pole and it's well deserved. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do.
But just what will happen here, your guess is as good as mine. The crowd are ready, the cars are ready. It's the Austrian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Okay, so we need to be a bit more strategic with our battery use, given that this is 2 laps until it switches on, the DRS, whereas it was just 1 with the sprint. Russell caught out straight away off the line by Zhou. Lewis is holding position against Max at the moment. Going to wait for the first couple of laps, and then we're going to try and sprint like crazy to see if we can break away from Max. It's going to be tricky. It's going to be much easier for George to make his way through the field. But yeah, it's going to be easier for him to do that than it is for Lewis to break away from Max. Take a look at tyres. A fair few people have gone for the hard tyre. They'll be good to go till the rain. So definitely going to have to work hard to make this strategy work. Max on those mediums could go medium to soft, could go medium, could go medium to hard. Just don't know what he's going to do yet. Even Marcel. Sykes down in 16th place and is passed by Schumacher. He's down to 17th place. Hamilton still holding position. I'm going to wait till Max overtakes us and then use the DRS to slingshot our way past with battery to try and catapult away from him. I'm going to drop the tyre pace and fuel pace down.
Make sure keep these tyres in good nick.
And now we're going to start pushing George.
Push and hold it, overtake.
Yeah, Roger. DRS has been enabled. So you're P1 at the moment. Take off the stack up with you.
How on you git. And a nice little run on you then. In fact, we might actually just be able to break away from Max.
Use the overtake. Okay.
Like this. We've got the tyre advantage. Let's try it. George gets past Albon. And that gets him up to very high confidence. He's going to have an immediate run onto the back of Piastri. Say Perez for a second then. He's going to have a look maybe at the inside. Can't quite make it. Let's give Lewis every chance of breaking away.
Yep.
Lewis, so it's hammer time.
Yep.
And Russell gets just into peak confidence. Up to 10th. Whoa, that was close to the back there of Magnussen. Still got a little bit of battery left. Can we get Magnussen as well before that runs out? This is where Lewis really needs to put the hammer down. He has got the 1 second gap. We're out of battery now.
Charge the pack.
Just calm the tyres down, calm the fuel down. Once you go into full recharge.
And overtake is available.
Yeah, copy.
And there we go. We are clear. And set a new fastest lap as well. A 1:06.0. That's a good lap. Start to save some fuel with Lewis. Start recharging the battery as well.
Let's don't think about getting the pack back up.
George not using any battery, but still has enough acceleration in the car to get alongside into turn 4. Goes around the outside. Will complete that move. And there we go. Almost completely maxed out on confidence now. That is going to be very important for his stats, as you can see. Big bonuses there. Lewis also in peak confidence right now. And let's just protect the tyres a bit more. Magnussen has already been dropped, and George is now having a look at the back of Lando Norris on those hard tyres. With a lot of drivers on the hard tyres, it does kind of help George a little bit. I mean, he's going to have to make a stop, and they're not, but they're not going to have the pace of the drivers on mediums or soft, so it should theoretically mean it'd be easier for us to get past them quickly. It also means it'll be easier for us to recharge the battery because, you know, we won't need to go quite so fast to stick with them. We have got a yellow flag out there, not quite sure where that's for, and is that a second yellow flag as well?
Right, let's have a look as we go into turn 4. And nearly, just running wide. And they'll find themselves at a disadvantage if they keep on doing that.
So we see Albon putting a couple of wheels into the gravel there. Was there a second yellow flag at the same time? I'm not getting any notification of it. Thought there was a little pause and then a second yellow popped up. Let's go to some fuel save for Russell while we're just finishing charging the battery back up. Whereas we spent a lot of time watching Lewis last night as he was fighting his way through, tonight it's the reverse. We're going to be watching George a lot and fight him through. We'll have to do it at least twice. Thanks to that pit stop that we've got to make. Maybe 3 times, depending on what happens with the wet weather. Right, we need to go now because Gasly is already starting to drop back off the back of Alonso.
So happy to push now.
Go around the outside of Norris. Get a straight, immediate run onto the back of Gasly. Should get him up into turn 3 here. We do. Gave up the DRS, but we had such a good launch out of that corner with the tyres and the battery that we are comfortably clear of Gasly, and now we are just a second off the back of Alonso and Leclerc. Tyres already down to 74%, so I'll make the most of them while they're still quick. Let's try and get a bit more battery back in the car again. It's always tricky to make progress when you're stuck behind two cars that are fighting desperately for position, like Alonso and Leclerc are. So there we go. A little mistake from Alonso, and we're able to get alongside him. That's actually going to deploy to complete the move if we can. Nope, Alonso is fighting back and has shut the door. Can we switch to the inside? No, we can't. Okay, back into full harvest then. Caught me a little long there. I wasn't expecting us to find ourselves alongside him there. Hamilton is 4.5 seconds clear of Max. Leclerc on the mediums. Where's Farah tonight? I don't know. If he did pop in and saw out the George, then he will have probably popped straight back out again. He's obviously George's lucky charm. He's been missing in action tonight, and it's not doing George any favours. Let's see if can we get Alonso into turn 1. Yes, we can. We've got the DRS. Although it's Alonso, but we've got the battery. We'll launch past him and try and make a lunge up the outside of Leclerc. Oh, it's another collision for George. Oh, that's going to bring out a safety car.
Folks.
That's the spare front wing gone. Major chassis damage, major front wing, minor rear wing, minor suspension. I think we're going to have to retire George. Any contact is going to break the car anyway from this point on. Gearbox has taken an almighty whack. ERS and engine are okay, but it's destroyed his tyres. As you can see, his right rear is gone. Let's try and keep him going. Well, no. If I do, I'm giving up any chance of Lewis recovering if he makes a mistake and breaks his front wing. I think we're going to have to just retire George. It's the smartest option given the state of the car. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Right, for Lewis, we are going to box him onto a set of mediums.
We've got a yellow flag here.
Box, box.
So, that's going to shake things up a little bit in the
Safety car,
championship.
safety
Leclerc
car.
is out as well,
Keep it down to positive.
and George has got a
Understood.
penalty
Just try
for
and keep as
causing
much
the
tempo as
collision.
possible.
That will carry across to Silverstone. So that'll be a 3-place penalty on the grid for George at the next Grand Prix. Max is in as well. What tyres is Max going to go to? Probably should have tried boxing George, just to at least make sure I had the fastest pit stop with him. Never mind. Alright, so Lewis is back out at the head of the field. Everyone is boxing. The whole field. So everyone who's on a hard tyre is getting rid of the hard tyre. I'm guessing they're going to go to a medium. I'm guessing we're probably going to see everybody on mediums here. I know Stroll and Perez have gone hards. And Norris, actually, yeah, maybe the mediums have just gone straight for the hard tyre. Maybe the softs will do the same as well. Max went for another set of mediums. And I'll be amazed if we see anybody on softs now. Yeah, there we go. Hards and mediums. So we're going to have to work hard to break away from Max again. We've got 2 laps of no DRS when the safety car does come in. And then it'll be a difficult sprint. This is going to sort out a lot of the fuel issues. This means we'll be able to go a lot more aggressive when the rain comes, rather than fuel saving. Or at least for some of it anyway. We're still going to have to do some fuel saving. That's first big wreck of the season for George. Lewis has had 2. Not really counting Barcelona for George because he was able to keep the car in amazingly good condition despite the damage and get himself up to 4th. But he wouldn't have been able to do that here tonight. If I had another spare front wing, I would probably have tried keeping George out for a little while. But with only one spare front wing and a car that was knackered, it just wasn't worth the risk of boxing George, putting on a new front wing, and then if something happened to Lewis and he needed to change his front wing, there would be no front wing for Lewis. And that would ruin the race for both of our cars. They're better to just retire George and at least keep some chance of getting the win. We're not going to get the 2 finishing though. That's going to hurt us with the sponsors. What was the... oh, we don't have the details. There we go, sponsors. What was the streak? It was a quali streak. So, we managed to complete the quali streak. That is good. Unfortunately, we are going to lose the finish position streak, but that is only worth 372 grand. So, at least we got the one that was worth 3.3 million completed. We're going to lose out on this one. So, we're going to lose another 320 grand there. As I say, at least we kept we are able to complete the quali streak, which was the big one. And this is really going to make things very close in the Drivers' Championship now as well. So as things currently stand, that is the new Drivers' Championship. The gap's going to come down to just 20 points. Obviously, Lewis picked up 8 points on George in the sprint, combined with a 26 for the win and fastest lap in this one. Is going to tighten things back up in that championship race again. In fact, did I say Max was going to jump up to second? No, he's nowhere near. I was confused by that. It's going to hurt Leclerc as well. So another bad weekend for Ferrari. Leclerc is out. Sainz not even in the points at the moment. He's still in P11. Does it look like rain is coming? The rain's not due till, lap 40-ish. I mean, we've got that little spike of rain, but I don't know if it's going to need us to box for inters that early. It might be less than 1 mil, so we'll have to see when it starts dropping in about, what is this now? About 15, so in about 20 laps we'll find out. This will probably be the last lap of the safety car. All the field is bunched together again. Battery is fully charged. We've saved a couple of kilos of fuel just behind this car already. And these tyres will easily last us until the rain hits. There we go.
The safety car will enter the pit lane.
So, as before, we're going to look after the tyres at the start. We're going to save the battery. We're going to get swamped by Verstappen, but hopefully we've still got enough pace to stay ahead of Stroll, as the AI is going to push here. And we're going to use the natural pace of the car to just try and hold position. If we can, keep Max behind us and then wait until the DRS is active again before we use our battery, so that we've got a chance of breaking away. It was much easier last time. We had softs against Max's mediums. Now it's medium against medium, so it's going to be a lot tougher to break away from him. And we need a battery at full charge to do that. There we go, Max throwing it up the inside. Stroll has gone with us, but we have dropped Perez. just about. Who's under pressure from Alonso right now. Norris in P6. So Perez trying to close that gap again. Oh, Lewis runs wide, and that's going to drop him to the back of the grid.
So anything could happen, Lewis. Let's just keep our heads down.
Now we can see what happened.
God damn
Now
it.
we're just proceeding through turn 4. Oh, and they need to be watching those track limits. Fighting with the car, just a little perhaps.
And this is where they still need to make massive improvements when it comes to cars rejoining the track. They have made improvements
Lift the coast.
since the last game, but it's still massively,
Head down.
massively wrong in certain conditions like that.
DRS has been enabled.
Right, with 3 seconds off the back of Hulkenberg. Ah. Right, so gone from a good afternoon for Lewis to a bad afternoon for Lewis. And you can see gaps opening up already. Schumacher is nearly 2 seconds off the back of Magnussen. We've got another yellow flag. We've got a crash.
Turn 4. So
Piastri
debris on track.
is sideways as he heads are coming together with Sainz. One less car to worry about. And that has now condensed the whole field behind Sainz, which is good and bad. We still have battery. So theoretically we can get a few overtakes done quickly and then we're in a position to immediately start recharging again, but it's still not going to be that easy to punch our way through. And Joe has already dropped off the back of Albon. Sainz has been passed by Ocon. So already we're starting to see a bit of a split opening up again. Great comeback needed. Yeah, it's going to need to be another mighty drive from Lewis, like we saw at Canada. Now he's just not quite on the pace. He's taken some tyre damage as well as a result of that lockup, so I can't overstress the tyres too much. They're already a little bit lower than I would like. Piastri's are worse though. Right, we'll be in the DRS this lap.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that we don't fall off a cliff on that tyre.
Right, here we go. starting our attack run. Bottas has just dropped out of DRS range. That will help. Confidence is in the toilet right now. A couple of quick overtakes will help. There we go. Not a massive confidence gain, but it's something. We managed to get the DRS on Yuki as well, which I didn't think we were going to do. And there we go, we've got him into low confidence now, as opposed to very low. Ricciardo up next.
So let's get after it. Do what you can.
And there we go, that's the move done on Ricciardo. Zhou up next. Zhou's on hard tyres, so we should spring straight past him here.
So we're low on battery at the moment.
And that's Lewis now into medium confidence.
Charge that pack.
Understood.
Now we're going to close the gap to Albon.
These tyres are good, Nick.
Just doing neutral on the battery for now.
Not the charge.
Just to try and facilitate that closing a little bit quicker. Pushing back into aggressive on his tyres as well. Another yellow flag. That's an Aston Martin. It's Alonso.
So this is what happened. Keep watching Alonso with this one. Oh, we've seen a few go off the track
Alonso
there.
did what Lewis
That
did, but
won't
the
do
field had
floor of
already
the
started
car
to
any
separate
good at
out a
all.
bit, which meant he was able to get on track much quicker than we did. But that will help. Again, it's another car slowing down. And another lockup for the Oscar.
Now this was at turn 3.
He's not having a good race.
Struggling with the car.
Those tyres are already
now they did
hurt.
leave it
He's
very
got front wing
late.
damage. And that'll hurt the tyres even more. We're down to just 57% now. Okay, lap 24 just starting for Max. Range you in about 12 laps. Haven't really closed the gap much to Albon, but he is pushing himself. He's closed up on sights. He did go a couple of tenths faster. He managed to match us to the 1,000th there on lap time. Crazy how he went from P18 to P12 in just a couple of corners. Yeah. When you've got the cars really close together like that and you've got a pace advantage, then a full push can be quite powerful. If we'd had full confidence, we'd be past Sainz already, because we'd have a huge pace bonus as well to our stats. As it is, we have a couple of negative modifiers still, but a lot less than they were. Alright, now we're almost on the back of Albon, which is good because I need to start saving these tyres a little bit soon. I want to start trying to save some battery too. Can we get in range? Maybe. I think we did. I think we just got in range. No, we didn't. We missed it. So we have broken away from Zhou and Yuki Tsunoda, who have switched places. We keep pushing a little bit now. As Albon gets through against Sainz. Right, now we're in range.
Let's just work on getting that pack back up. Increase the lifting coast.
So we need to hope that we can judge the weather right.
Just think about lifting coast efficiency.
Understood.
Maybe gain a couple of places on the switch to inters. It's not going to be easy. Full course safety car would be quite nice about now. Dive in, put on some softs and go sprinting again. We've dropped back behind Hulkenberg, but it would be worth it. Put on a set of brand new softs. Sainz struggling. Can't keep with Albon at the moment.
And just charge the pack.
Yep.
And Albon on the move. He's attacking Schumacher now.
Use the overtake.
Yep.
We can drop the lifting
Defend
coast.
against Sainz, try and close the gap to the back of Schumacher. Hamilton's confidence improving. Starting to get some positive modifiers again now. We are only 14 seconds off Verstappen. That's not as bad as I thought it would be. Still leaves us with a fair bit of work to do, but it could be a lot worse. And we've dropped Sainz already. That didn't take long. Sainz really struggling for whatever reason.
Getting the pack back up. Just going to need some lift and coast.
And Tsunoda now putting himself alongside Sainz. He'll get the move done, and he's going to have the DRS as well. So Sainz down to 13th and falling towards Bottas. What is going on with Sainz? Tyres have taken a little bit of a knock from that collision with... Who was it he collided with? That's collided with someone. He must have been. I'm not sure. Right, there we go. We've got the move done on Schumacher. while still in a charge position as well. Low tyres, low fuel, full harvesting on the battery. We've got the DRS on Albon. This is where having a naturally quick car and a world champion driver really does help. Make sure we don't get dropped by Albon here. We're up into P10 and we're in the points. It's not enough yet, but we're in range just of Albon, so we should be able to stretch away from Schumacher now. And we'll get the move done on Alex soon. Rain is due to start in about 5-6 laps time. Just try to give us a little bit of a grip advantage so that we can sprint and try and make up positions around the pit stop scramble. Still don't know if we're needing to box as soon as the rain starts hitting. You can see the spike at lap 37 and then it dips a little bit, and I don't know if it's going to need into at that point or not. I don't want to jump too quickly, box for inters and then burn them up before the rain really hits properly, because that would just again ruin our race. But if I stay out too long, we're going to drop a load of positions again. Going to be tricky to judge this one. Right, now we're going to try and sprint.
Just push.
Past Albon up to 9th place, still around 15 seconds off the front, but now we're going to have a couple of quick laps to really try and close down Alonso, Ocon and Magnussen. Alex has been dropped. Yuki is now on the back of him. Yuki is showing good pace again, as you can see. And he pulled away from Schumacher. Sainz down in 14th now. Bottas has jumped him, although he gets the position back up the hill. He's going to be vulnerable on the exit of turn 3, heading into turn 4. And we've just about killed the battery, but we are almost on the back of Ocon, Alonso and Magnussen again, which is nice. There we go, we're in range, so we'll start fuel saving, we'll drop the tyre pace down a bit more.
Stay on top of the lifting post.
And we'll go into full harvest. You can see the sky is starting to get a little bit greyer. Clouds are coming out. Rain is coming. Oh, a little lock-up for Lewis.
Sorry, fellas.
That's cost him 4% of his tyres.
Just do the best you can.
Let's take a closer look. Right, we're taking the second corner. The brakes couldn't cope. What caused that, I wonder?
have been pushing him hard. Got his confidence almost back up to starting level. We're in the high confidence right now.
Pick up the pace.
And there we go, there's a 4-minute warning to the start of the rain.
Rain is imminent.
And all that extra rubber we've been saving, gone with that little rock up. We're definitely getting held up now. We don't really have the raw pace we need.
And think about less lifting coast.
Hopefully we can at least claim one of these guys here. Can we get off on it to turn one? Yes, we can. Can we get Alonso up the hill? No, but Alonso's going to get Hulkenberg, and we're going to go side by side with him. Alonso doesn't have the DRS. Hulkenberg's going to retake that position. We are stuck, boxed in at the moment. Can we move to the inside of Alonso? Yes, yes we can.
So we've got low battery at the moment.
Oh, that was close. Rain is 2 minutes out, and I don't know, like I said, whether or not these tyres
And think about
are going to need to be changed immediately. Suggests it is with that. It says damp and damp and damp for the next 3 weather segments. Rain starting to fall. Can't box this lap, it's too early. Well, at least it's too early right now. We'll see what it's like at the end of the lap. We gave DRS to Magnussen.
Don't sweat it, Lewis.
Oh, what a lunge from Ocon there on Alonso.
Just keep your heads down.
And you know what, I think
You can do this.
this is the lap to box.
So, box.
So this lap.
We're going to box for a new set of inters. Just up the lifting coast a little more.
Yeah, everyone's diving in.
Okay, copy.
Right, so hopefully everyone who's staying out will start to struggle a little bit. It's going to be a bit chaotic here in the pit lane. It's probably going to get held on release. Yep, getting held as cars come in. But not by much, that's okay.
Clear on exit.
We will jump everybody, including Magnussen. There he is. And yeah, this is definitely into territory. Oh, an issue at the pits for Sainz, so I wasn't quick enough to react to that.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that we don't fall off the cliff on that tyre.
Just make sure that Magnussen doesn't get within DRS range. Oh, there we go. DRS is active. Verstappen is in. Stroll is in.
Use the overtake.
Alpines are in together. Good stop for Gasly. And Ocon. Slight hail for Alonso there. And can we jump them? We can. We jumped them both. Beautiful. I killed my battery, but it was worth it. So we're up to P6. Still about 14.5 seconds off Max.
Need to introduce a small amount of lift and coast.
Right. There is the potential for full wets somewhere around about lap 60. So I'm going to keep pushing the tyres just a little bit.
So you can pick up the pace.
Understood.
I'll get down to about 2 kilos of fuel, deficit before we stop fuel saving. If it does go full wet, we're going to save fuel hand over fist. Right, keep an eye on lap times. Evening, Adam. Ocon is pushing. Trying to find a way through. And he's got us.
Got every chance here.
Yeah, 1:10.0. Not a great lap from us. We are still fuel saving though, so that's going to have an impact. Sainz down in 14th place. Yeah, it's just been one of those weekends for Ferrari, hasn't it? Stroll on a pushing lap, 108.8. Took over a second out of Max on that last lap. We are closing in on Norris. And that'll be hopefully our chance to try and get back in front of Ocon. Rain level easing. Water is starting to just drain away slightly. Well, the 9.4 is definitely a better lap, that half a second faster. 8/10 gained on Norris, who is now right in front of Ocon. Fuel saved down to about 2.7. Needs to come down a bit more. I want to try and start getting some more battery in the car as well. We'll just happen to just trickle charge it with our top up here. Otherwise we're going to drop too far off the back of Ocon and then have to use it to close back up again. Let's drop the tyre pace down to standard.
Just need to make sure we keep these tyres in good nick.
Yep.
I'm actually going to try and get a little bit of full charge
Just charge
going
the pack.
while Ocon is tucked up behind Norris here. He did up his pace on the last lap. See if he continues to stretch away. If he does, we'll have to go back onto top up. Grip level starting to dip, drop to low. We're okay like this for another few laps. Water level now starting to gradually increase again. Alonso pushing. He's got past Magnussen and is closing on us. We've got to watch out for Alonso. We are dropping off the back of Ocon, so let's stop full harvesting and let's go into top up again. Tyre temps coming down. Fuel saving is starting to really kick in. Need a bit more water on track for that to really start kicking in properly, though. And you can see a 1:37 slow lap. A very slow lap. We lost 1.5 seconds to Alonso on that last tour. Have a quick look at the battle for the lead between Stroll and Verstappen. They are 6.5 seconds clear of Perez, who is fighting with Gasly, and then another 6 seconds back to the gap to the fight between Norris, Ocon. Which we were a part of until a lap or two ago. And now we're having to defend from Alonso. But we are starting to eat that gap down again. Edge up on the back of them. Took a couple of tenths out of them. Looks like Stroll's confidence is doing him some favours here. Put in a good performance at Canada. Despite dropping down the order a little bit, still got some solid points. He's starting to drop off. Max is looking like he's pushing. At least we've secured the fastest lap. Valley's not going to be beaten now. It's just going to get wetter and wetter as the race progresses. So there's one extra point for Lewis. So 108.8, yeah, he's definitely trying to break away. Cut back to Lewis.
We can drop the lifter coaster now.
We're going to go for it.
Later.
We're going to try and break away now. we ride the ham cam. A couple of overtakes here would really give us a solid boost to confidence as well. Get it up towards peak. That's Ocon. Move is complete. Norris chops across to block the inside, which is now the outside, as we go up and under. And there we go, we're right on the cusp of peak confidence now, and that is a very nice, healthy boost to our stats. And already, wow, we have gapped Norris really well. He must have had a really bad exit from that overtake. He lost a lot of time there. So we can go straight into top up. We can drop the tyre pace down. We're clear. Now we can try and close up on Gasly and Perez. Okay, so the gap is 5.9 seconds-ish, 5.8, 5.7, in that kind of region. We have lost a little bit of time to Max while we were stuck behind Norris and Ocon. We've gone from being 14.5 seconds off the lead to about 16 seconds off, but that's not too bad. We're still in the hunt. We're in clean air now. We haven't got anyone to slow us down in the braking zones, whether in front or behind. And as you can see, we are back in the low 109s again. Water level is still gradually creeping up. Let's take a quick look at the radar. Like I said, I think somewhere around lap 60, maybe 62, we might possibly be looking to switch to full wets. Possibly. Moderate rain is due to kick in 10 minutes. Be wary of that. Not sure we've got enough pace in these conditions to win the race, because it is a very short lap. But I think we're definitely going to have the pace to catch and pass Perez for the podium, which would be disappointing considering where we started, but where we ended up after the lockup from the restart, yeah, that would be a decent result. Ford are going to be disappointed with the result though. Another car failing to finish. At least we're going to clear the debt this weekend. Dropping away from this battle at the front. Coming up to lap Piastri. Yeah, we're a couple of tenths slower than we need to be to match Perez's pace. Thinking maybe I took just a little bit too much fuel out of the car at the start. Could have done with one less lap of fuel saving. That would put us around about 0 fuel right now, which means we could be a little bit more aggressive with our pace, increase our braking distance. Sainz in 14th still, and not closing on Albon at all. He's just got no pace in that car this weekend. So it's going to be another nil-point race for Ferrari and for Sainz. Magnussen's got back past Alonso, so Alonso back down to 9th place. They're within about a second and a half of Norris and Ocon. We are pulling away from them. We've got the gap to 5 seconds now. And we were half a second quicker than Perez and Gasly on that last lap. That's good. Lap times will fluctuate a lot more in wet weather like this. This is where the drivers' adaptability rating really comes in. And the better the lap time, the quicker they can go, and more importantly, the more consistent they are in those conditions as well. And this is where I think Hamilton has been done a little bit dirty in his stats, because he's one of the best wet weather drivers in Formula 1, and yet his stats are like 82 or 83, distinctly average for adaptability. They should be higher than they are. Then Piastri's stats should be higher, considerably higher for his pace stats. They are appalling. I know he's had a rough race so far, but yeah, there he is, lapped behind us. Confidence is going to start to drop a little bit. There it goes down again. Because we're not setting faster sectors and we're not overtaking anybody. So it's just naturally going to start to degrade and drift back towards its starting level. We've got another yellow flag. Ooh, who's that for? It's Max. Max has had a mistake somewhere, I think. No, it's Ricciardo. Max has been caught and passed by Stroll.
This was the 4th corner.
So I naturally assumed that was the problem.
And the car just locks. Just unable to control the car by that point.
Ricciardo able to get going again pretty quickly. So yeah, Stroll has caught and passed Max. He's just obviously gone on a bit of a push looking at the lap time. Got himself in front, and he is a little bit slower than Max, so if he now holds up Max for a few laps as his pace drops off again, that will help us.
And we'll push. Yep.
Yeah, 109.7 this lap for Stroll. Perez still in the 110s. We are hunting down very slowly, but we are hunting down Perez and Gasly. Gap under 4 seconds now. Yeah, one of the things I've noticed with the way that the devs tend to set the pace stats is kind of based on how good the car is, which just seems a bit wrong. You know, we saw this we saw this a bit last year, and we've seen it this year as well. You know, when a car isn't great, there's not a huge amount a driver can do, you know, to showcase their pace, so they just get marked down. We saw some drivers with some very unusual stats last time, and we've seen it again this time round as well. You know, Vettel, for example, had an appalling pace setting in the last game, which wasn't really representative of how quick he could go in that car. And we saw as the car improved what he was able to do with it in comparison to Stroll in the second half of the season, as that car, you know, gradually got better and better. And this season we've seen what Piastri's been able to do as the car's got better, and he's been getting some updates compared to how unable he was to showcase his kind of ability in the first couple of races when the car was awful to drive and was one of the slowest on the grid, and they just set the stats for Piastri's pace based on that. So yeah, I think they do need to take a more historical look at drivers' pace. I think Bottas has been slightly overrated with his pace stats for the last 2 games. And Magnussen is a bit too quick in this as well, as he was last year. I need a safety car. It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt, but we are closing. We've got the gap down to 2.5 seconds now. We've got a yellow flag. That is that Zhou or is that Bottas? It's Zhou.
Let's have a look at that. Zhou Guan Yu is the focus here. Well, things are okay at this stage. Oh, and the car locks up. But that's just the risk you take. The later you leave it.
Right, the heavy rain is about to start. It still says damp on the forecast, so that suggests maybe no full wets. You can see the water level creeping up towards 2 millimeters now. This will help keep the tyres a bit cooler, so it'll allow us to push at this pace setting for longer without the tyres overheating. As the rain gets a bit heavier, and as I say, that tyres immediately start to overheat. But we have been pushing on this setting for quite a few laps now. We will also start saving fuel at a faster rate as the rain gets heavier. So we're at 0.7 kilos needed to save in the next 15 laps. We will comfortably be able to do that. Almost close enough to have a stab with battery. Got another yellow flag. Someone has spun. Is that Ricardo?
And here we've got a yellow flag.
Ocon has spun. I was looking at the wrong part of the minimap. No, that's a big spin.
Sorry for the...
And we're inside a second. So, as I said, I don't think we've got the pace to get onto the top step and win the Grand Prix. We're still 11.5 seconds off the leaders. Stroll is definitely slowing Max down a little bit. But we've definitely got the pace to get on the podium in general, get 3rd spot, which we are getting ready to have a lunge for. We've got to really just go for it here.
Yep.
And think about lifting coast.
And if we can pull off these overtakes in quick succession, it'll put us into peak confidence as well, which will be very nice. Like to do that before we run out of battery, if at all possible. And there we go, straight up the inside of Gasly there. We get Perez. That will be peak confidence, and that will be a nice bigger boost to our accuracy and help improve our pace. Should get him into turn 1 under braking here. Not quite, but we'll get him up the hill. And there we go. We are through into third place, 10.5 seconds off the lead. Let's quickly drop the fuel setting down a bit. Let's go back into top up.
Yeah, we just need to make sure that we don't fall off a cliff on that tyre. Just think about.
Let's see if we can break away from Perez quickly here. We've already got over a second on him. And the longer Stroll stays in front, the better chance we have of actually catching the leaders. And as I say that, Stroll decides to up his pace and start pushing. Trying to gap Max. Still looking like it's going to be Inters to the finish. Just going to cool the tyres down a touch.
Just need to make sure keep these tyres in good nick. And we can drop the lifter coast for now, we'll pick it up later.
Max's pace is going nowhere at the moment. Is he in a full harvest at the moment? His tyres are fine. I wonder if he's just charging up his battery to have another push at getting past Stroll. Tyre temps are almost down again.
Just push.
And you can see our current stat boosts. Another yellow flag. Very briefly. All just running a little wide, I think. Yep, Alonso.
Now here, we're taking turn 6. And they just can't keep on the track. Perhaps a little lapse in concentration.
He got lucky,
maybe.
he didn't lose more pace there. That could have been very bad. Where is Alonso right now? He is in 8th place. And that's dropped him off the back of Magnussen. But Ocon has dropped way back as well. So Magnussen's been punching his way through. He's closing in on the back of Norris right now. Another yellow flag. And is that Alonso again? I think it is.
Let's see what happened there. It's obviously quite wet out there. Very heavy on the brakes. They took a gamble and it was just too late. So
that now puts Alonso a long way behind Magnussen. He's been passed by Ocon and is now under threat from Tsunoda.
Pick up the pace.
Who gets through? Yuki is up to P9. It's all going wrong for Alonso here. Right, I'm going to actually really just hammer these tyres now.
It's hammer time.
We are running out of time to try and catch the leaders. So we're just going to have to full burn these tyres to the finish now, I think. If we've got any chance of closing that gap. Almost fuel zero. Water's now just under 3 mil. Could Lance Stroll be on for a win here tonight? It's entirely possible. First thing I'll be doing is checking the performance difference between Stroll's car and Alonso's car. He is now 2.5 seconds off the back of Tsunoda. Alonso's pace is just gone. Sainz still in 14th behind Schumacher. And if he can get past him, that's probably as high as he's going to go, because he's 8 seconds off the back of Albon. Joe is 11 seconds further back though, so it's just a fight for 13th. Right, we're a second a lap faster at the moment. 7 second gap, 7 laps to go. Ooh, it's going to be tight. And that's only to Max. You know, Stroll is a little bit further ahead. Let's ride the wing cam. I'm hopeful we're at the point in terms of the rain where we can pretty much
And just need to
keep fuel push going for the majority of the remaining part of the race, because that will help. That's the leaders just up in front. That's Max and Stroll.
6 laps remaining.
6 laps to go, and we are 8 seconds off the lead, 6 seconds off Max. Oh, it's close. It's going to be very close. Let's try and get that gap down very quickly. The longer we push these tyres, the more chance we have of making a mistake. But we have to go for it now. We are comfortably ahead of Perez and Gasly now. That is Ricciardo in front of us, not Verstappen.
5 laps.
Understood.
Right, I need Danny Rick to get out of the way ASAP. That is Verstappen just popping up in the distance there. That tyre temps are going up through the roof.
Coast. Okay.
Got to push them though.
So we are low on battery at the moment.
Killed the battery as well.
Let's just work on getting that pack back up.
Hulkenberg is the next car to be lapped.
Just keep an eye on those temps. Four to go.
4 laps to go, and we are 4.5 seconds off the race win. This is going to be so tight. It's still getting wetter. It's going to go full wet in about 11 minutes, but the race will be over by then.
And think about left lifting coast.
Understood.
We are absolutely destroying these tyres. But we've only got 3 laps to go after this.
The hot and
Come on,
temperatures
Lewis.
lifting coast. Three laps remaining.
Hulkenberg dives out of the way. Smart man. I think Stroll's going to be just beyond us. It looks like he's on for a win. Can we get Max? I think that might be just beyond us. I really hope we can catch him.
So let's uplift and coast all round, Lewis.
Save what tiny little bit of battery. Excuse me. Save what tiny little bit of battery I've got left for any overtake chance that we can make.
We've got 2 laps remaining. We drop the lift and coast for now. We'll pick it up later.
Come on. I need a lock-up from either of the 2 in front. Or both of them. We're not going to catch either of them. I think we just pushed our tyres just that little bit too much.
Use the overtake.
Let's just burn what we've got left and hope. You can see how the fuel keeps flicking from red to green to red to green. The rain has hit the point where it's now almost enough to sustain permanent push.
One more lap.
we're going to fall short. And it's going to be a mighty heroic effort. In the end, I think we just pushed our tyres too hard for too long. Verstappen's pushing to close back on Sainz. Not Sainz, sorry, Stroll. We're going to make sure we at least finish this Grand Prix now.
We're just going to need to introduce a little bit of lift and coast.
We'll have to settle for third. We're a long way ahead of Perez now. 13.5 seconds when we cross the line.
Keep these tyres in good nick.
That's, yeah, we gave it everything. It wasn't quite enough. We've had another fight all the way through the field again. Had to do it with Russell in the sprint, and then we had to do it again with Russell for part of the race, and then again with Hamilton in the race.
So you've taken the flag. 3.
So much for a drama-free weekend.
Great work, guys.
What a fantastic drive.
We finished 3 seconds off Max in the end. We just didn't have the pace left at the end. We burnt the tyres too much, trying to close them down, but it was a valiant effort. So that will give a little bit of a reprieve to George. The gap won't be quite as small as it would have been had Lewis won the race, but he's got the bonus point for the fastest lap. He's going to get 15 points for third place, plus the 8 points for the sprint. So that is a very healthy 24 points this weekend. The gap was, what, 53 points? So that's going to bring it down to, what, 31 points? $30 points. Apparently I can't add up.
For George, it just wasn't a good day, was it?
Having to retire early will no doubt be a bitter disappointment. But today is done, and it's all about looking forward.
The highly decorated record breaker from Stevenage once again taking to the podium.
I can't believe we're seeing a 9th podium of the season. Just incredible consistency.
I can't believe we're seeing Lance Stroll on the top of on the top step.
Well, there were mountains to overcome here in Austria.
Mark this in your calendars,
Those
boys and
three
girls.
managed to climb to
Lance
the
Stroll.
top.
Lance Stroll won a race in a video game before he did in real life.
And as proceedings start to wind down here, what will Mercedes have made of this result, Karun?
They'll certainly be pleased to have made the podium. A job well done for sure.
And that's it for this weekend here in Austria.
For the next round, we're heading back to the heart of the UK. Get ready for a race to remember in Silverstone, the cradle of Formula One.
So there we go. That is the final result. A win for Lance Stroll, gaining 3 places from 4th where he started, benefiting from the fact that George was taken out, well, took himself out really, in that collision with Leclerc early on. And then the lockup from Lewis, dropping him all the way to the back of the grid after the restart. Right after the restart, actually. So, disaster. Had to fight all the way back through the grid again. And ended up getting onto the podium in 3rd. Max will take 2nd. That's good points for Max. Perez up a place. Gasly up a place. Lando up 2 places. More solid points for McLaren today. And some solid points for Haas as well. Disappointment for Fernando Alonso. Look at that. He was in 10th place. I mean, I know he had that little lock-up and lost 2 places as a result of that, but yeah, it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a Lewis lock-up where it cost him the entire grid. But he dropped 7 places. He just had no pace in the end. We're going to have a look into his car and see the difference. I think Lance has definitely got some upgrades that Alonso doesn't. And we'll check into that in a moment. Let's have a quick look at data view, because I want to see engine condition as well. So Alonso's gearbox was starting to go. That will not have helped his acceleration. Everything else, though, pretty similar. Same engine spec, same ERS spec. It's just the difference in gearbox. So that would have had a little bit of a negative effect, but nothing horrendous. I want to see why Sights was so slow as well. Oh, his engine's knackered. That's why. Yeah, that engine is toast. So that'll probably be getting swapped out in the next Grand Prix. That is the state of Leclerc's car before the collision with George. That will probably end up being a little bit worse. Expect to see a new gearbox in Leclerc's car next race. Possibly a new engine as well. Let's have a look at the Drivers' Championship. There we see George, no points for him. The gap is now down by another 24 points from this weekend. So the gap is 29 points. Max up to third place and Checo up to fourth, both of them jumping the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc, who got 1 point from the sprint, but big points for Red Bull this weekend, as you can see, getting 25 for Max and 16 for Checo across the two races. Huge points for Lance Stroll, look at that. He closes the gap to Leclerc massively, 30 points for him this weekend. He scored more points than any other driver this weekend. Esteban Ocon gets 6 points. Gasly climbs 2 places with 13 points, puts him up to 8th, ahead of Alonso, who had a terrible race weekend. 7 points in total for him, 6 from the sprint, 1 from the race. Points for Norris, he actually outscored Alonso this weekend. And then as we scroll down, you can see Magnussen jumping 2 places above Piastri and Hülkenberg. And Yuki getting a few more points for himself as well. Carlos Sainz is behind Lando Norris in the standings. He drops 2 more places this Grand Prix. It's down to 11th in the championship. Let's take a look at the constructors. 24 points for Mercedes, 41 points for Red Bull. Big points for them. So the gap is now 187 points. Still a huge gap. Aston Martin with 37 points have jumped Ferrari, who only scored 1 point this entire weekend. Horrendous weekend for Ferrari. Alpine getting some good points. Could they possibly catch and overhaul Ferrari? That is the next question. McLaren with some solid points. Haas with some solid points. Williams gets some points as well. And Alfa Romeo and Alfa Tauri, no points for them this weekend. They are getting left behind by a long way. Let's take a look at the DHL competition. We forgot to box George before we retired him to try and at least get a quick stop in. And everyone else, you can see, starting to pick up some good points. Perez actually getting a 2.1 second stop. That's the closest anyone's been to us for a while. Just less than a tenth between Lewis and Checo's stops there. That's the points tally for the end of the weekend. So good points for Mercedes. Obviously the sprint pit stops do not count. It's only the main race. So that's why there's no time for George in there at all. Even if we had made stops in the sprint, which we didn't anyway. But yeah, Red Bull in second place. Big points for them over McLaren again. So they're just stretching that gap. They are now 72 points clear, 92 points clear. Ferrari do pick up a few points. They're kind of hanging around in fourth. Alpine not close enough to challenge them yet. And it's a close fight between Aston Martin and AlphaTauri for 6th place right now. And still no points in the competition for Williams or Haas. Let's have a look. So over the full weekend, George got 18 successful overtakes, 15 failed, 4 successful defences and 2 failed. Most of that from the sprint. Let's take a look at Lewis. 15 successful overtakes, 6 failed, 14 successful defences, 13 failed. Most of those overtakes were from the main and the defences from the sprint. Actually, no. Defences would have been from the main as well. He only did a little bit of defending at the start of the sprint and was then off into the distance. No points for Teo this weekend. We didn't run him because it was a sprint weekend. And as far as the sponsors go, well, we we failed our performance guarantee with the finish position, which cost us 80,000, but our other guarantees came in, so we've ended up with a very, very healthy 8.25 million. That is fantastic stuff. Because we now need to start buying some replacement parts. So, let's deal with the missing parts first of all. Lots of stuff missing here from George's car. Chassis needs to be replaced. That is the spare chassis gone. Front wing needs to be replaced. We don't have a spare front wing that we can put... Oh, we do, because we didn't use it for Lewis in the race. So, we need spare front wings. Rear wing, we'll swap that out. Still have a spare rear wing. Side pods are okay. Underfloor is okay. Suspension needs to be swapped out. We've still got a spare suspension. Let's look at Lewis's car. The side pods failed on his car, and we no longer have any spare side pods either. So quite a lot of spare parts need to be made. Let's go straight to our car development. We've got underfloors coming. So let's start at the top. Chassis. We have a spare chassis, so we'll hold off on that for now. Front wings. We need quite a few front wings, so let's go with 3 of those. Rear wings. We have 1. Got no development underway at the moment, so I might make another rear wing, and we'll do side pods next. We haven't got any spare side pods, so let's make at least 2 of those. 21 days till they're ready. That'll be in time for Spa. Let me just quickly double check the condition of the side pods that we've got left. 86% and 99%. So we shouldn't have any issues with those breaking in the next race or so. So we don't have to rush manufacturing, which is good, because that's always more expensive. We'll go with 2 new side pods. There we go. Suspensions. We are going to need suspensions. They take a while to come, so let's go ahead and at least make 1 of those. Again, I'm going to actually quickly double check. Just put a new one on Lewis's car, or was it George's car? George's car, that's 99%. Lewis is at 42. That's probably going to need replacing after this Grand Prix, which is going to eat up that spare. So we need 2 spare suspensions manufacturing. There we go. And that leaves me any slots left? 1 slot left. So, again, I'm going to check chassis and rear wings. So, brand new chassis, brand new rear wing on George's car. Brand new chassis, well, newish chassis on Lewis's car. Rear wing is about to go. That's going to break in the next race. These are quite flimsy. They only tend to last 2 or 3 races, as you can see there on the lifespan. So we definitely need to manufacture a fair few of these. So let's go ahead and make 3 new rear wings. 1 to replace the one that's going to break at the end of the next race, and then that'll leave us with 2 spares as well. And that's it for slots. We can't do another spare chassis just yet, but there's no major rush for a chassis. They are fairly durable. 4 to 8 races, I think. Yes. 4 to 8 races. So, that's the spare parts taken care of. Now we have some money that we can actually start working on some development again. Do we have hours to spend? Let's have a look. Yes, we do. We've just started a new ATR period, so... question is, where do I go? Do I go with a rear wing? Do I go with an underfloor? We're on a Mark III underfloor, so that suggests maybe a Mark III rear wing would be good. We're on a Mark III front wing as well. Yeah, let's go with a new rear wing. And we should hopefully, if we're lucky, get this in time for Spa. But if not, certainly in time for Monza. We're going to go mighty on the drag reduction. want to have a little bit of an improvement on the dirty air this time, so we'll leave that where it is. DRS is still pretty strong. Let's do that with the DRS, and then we drop the weight right down. That will improve our acceleration a little bit. Yeah, we need that improvement in dirty air performance, don't we? Let's drop the DRS delta down a touch more. See what that's going to give us: a touch more medium and high speed downforce, a touch more dirty air tolerance, a touch more speed. We'll go with that. We're going to go normal approach, 43 days to complete. Spa is 25 days away. We're not going to get it in time for Spa, but we will have it in time for Zandvoort, which means Monza, the race after that, will be where it really helps us. I'm just going to go with one engineer because we'll have 10 days to manufacture at least 2, hopefully 3 rear wings. We should be able to get 3 in 10 days without any real issue. So if we maximize the amount of experience we can gain at normal rate with just one engineer there, like that does mean I've got 3 engineers left, and I could do another research, or I could do another upgrade for the car. Let's see, we are maybe needing to improve our brake cooling. So that was just a front wing, might be a good idea. We do that with our brake cooling. Take the lifespan down a bit. Let's look at maybe just dipping the sensitivity a touch. Let's do that. So just a minor front wing update, nothing too substantial. Actually going to slightly increase the high speed performance on that as well. And again, we'll get this for Zandvoort, which is in 53 days. And I am going to put a couple of extra engineers on this. I'm going to go 3 engineers on this one. Let's go 2 engineers, and then we'll put 2 engineers on the rear wing. There we go, just to give us a little bit more leeway with that. Okay, let's check the inbox. So, car inspection results, we've already dealt with that. Lots of destroyed parts and 1 failed part. ATR period, we've already dealt with that. We've got 2 new projects underway. We have got the results of the feature. It's another win for Enzo Fittipaldi. He is developing quite nicely this season. Maybe we might try and sign Fittipaldi wherever we go next. Scouting complete for Liam Lawson. He's got 6 months left on his deal at AlphaTauri. Richard Bashaw, only 6 months left on his deal at Ferrari, so he's a 1 season only contract at the moment. Nick De Vries, still a free agent. And Giovinazzi, 6 months left on his deal at Red Bull, so he's another 1 season contract only. We've got a board assessment coming up in 30 days. We have cleared our debt. We've still got 1.5 mil in the bank. Is there anything that needs our attention through here? Yes, we need to sort out the boardroom because that's getting pretty bad. Let's do that. That'll take 24 days, so we might get that to drop just in time for the board review, which would be nice. The hospitality room could do with a tweak, but it's okay at the moment. It doesn't really affect too much. Staff facilities, yes, we still need to do the team hub. It's a long way off. More important things to spend the money on. Our design center refurb is almost complete. 3 days away from that. Maybe I should have waited 3 days before I started those projects. Never mind. Too late now. And everything else is okay. So, let's advance time. Something requires our inbox, sponsoring Luke Browning. Let's have a quick look at Luke Browning. So he's 22 years old. What is his rating? 61. He's in his 3rd season. I don't think that is going to turn into any real promising talents. He's in his 3rd season. He's still in F3. He's in his early 20s already. He's only rated at 60. I'm going to not spend the money on that. Evening, Anthony. Late stream tonight. Well, late finishing. Yeah. I was about 15 minutes late starting tonight, and it's been a sprint weekend as well. Right, lots of stuff on the calendar, as you can see. Let's advance some time again. Get some more of these parts done. That's our design centre refurb done. We'll continue. Contract ending for James Allison. Did we not renew his contract? No, apparently we didn't. Okay, let's renew his contract. We'll offer him a 3-season deal to start next season, and we'll up his wage because he's going to want a lot more money to 3.4 mil. That might not be enough. Yeah. Just about accepting that salary. No lump sum because we don't have a lot of actual cash. We'll try offering him an extra couple of $100,000. We've got 530,000. So we'll go 225,000 as a signing on bonus. And that is enough. Just so. James Allison will be staying at Mercedes next season. Who else was that contract? Oh, it's George and Lewis. We're going to wait on those two. There we go. And we're there for race prep. So before we go any further, let's go into the warehouse and make sure we've got the right parts on both the cars. I think we've got the new underfloors for this Grand Prix. Or did we put them on for the last one? We might put them on for the last one, actually. I'm not sure. Yes, we did. Okay. Right. We've got spare parts for just about everything. And we've got a lot more spare parts still in the works, as you can see. Plenty of stuff being built. And 2 new projects underway, which will drop in time for Zandvoort after the mid-season break. How much do we have left on our cost cap? Because we've spent quite a bit of money this weekend and last weekend as well. Let's have a look at the cost cap. 38 million left, 13.3 projected to spend. That'll mean we've got about 25 million left for the rest of the season. And we might possibly have to spend a bit of money giving George some new parts, given what happened today. So we'll check that next week. But that is it for tonight. That's it for this week. We will be back on Monday, the usual time of 9 p.m. for the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, our home race for both the team, technically, and also for both of our drivers as well. We do still have a very strong lead in the Constructors' Championship. Russell is still leading Lewis in the Drivers' Championship, or the gap has come down though, given George's retirement tonight. And let's see what happens when we get in front of the the British fans. See who can win their home race. Until then, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am John Bob, and I'll be back with some more F1 Manager very soon.